Pro Boxing Fans here with Johnny Nelson. Johnny, I do want to move away and just talk to you about a few things that have happened in the last couple of weeks, and they kind of linked together. First of all, Simon Jordan talking about the media not asking the right questions, that's one thing. And then True Geordie asking Tyson Fury certain questions which Tyson didn't like. What do you make of the media game at this present time when it comes to asking fighters the right question or asking promoters the right question?
Well, Simon Jordan hit the nail right on the head. And Simon Jordan, you either love him or loathe him, but like it or not, he asked the question where you think, yo, what are you doing, man? You're pulling him. Whereas True Geordie, what he did was he had the bottle to do his job. He had the bottle, listen to what I'm saying, he had the bottle to do his job. His job is to ask questions. But most reporters, what they do is they don't want to ask the question for fear of not getting an interview next time they see this individual. So they're trying to keep him sweet. A reporter's job is to ask the questions that need to be asked. Simon Jordan's always been that kind of guy. True Geordie, what he did was he only did what his job was. And they made a bigger deal about the kerfuffle with him and Tyson, the words afterwards. But I like the fact that he asked the questions, and that's what reporters should do, and not be scared. And most reporters are scared of actually asking Tyson Fury a question in case he barks at him, in case he bans him, in case whatever. I understand you guys have got to make a living when you're doing this stuff, but True Geordie, good on him. I hope he set an example to budding reporters out there to say, you know what, this is my job. I might not like it, and it takes a lot of bottle to do it, because Tyson Fury can be an intimidating force. But you know what, you respect it in the end because they're doing the job. So Simon Jordan, you know what he said has come to fruition. The reporters have to do the job. True Geordie, good on him. You did it. You asked the question that needed to be asked.
In regards to Simon Jordan, there's been a back and forth between him and Eddie. I asked Eddie after the last matchroom card about this, and he said, listen, he said to me, he goes, I'll bring him onto my BBC podcast, we'll debate it. If not, and if he thinks I'm a coward, let's do 6 rounds in the ring, right? I spoke to Spencer Oliver, who does a podcast with Simon now. He goes, listen, it's smokes and mirrors, that's all it is. Simon's always wanted Eddie on TalkSport. What do you make of all of this, and what do you want to see them eventually if they have to do 6 rounds in the ring?
So the straw that's probably what's brought this to the surface is the fact of what's happened with Conor Benn. This isn't about Conor Benn. This is about Eddie Hearn being a brilliant promoter but contradicting himself 1,001 times, and Simon Jordan being prepared to challenge him on it. Simon Jordan being prepared to risk being sued, because most people won't ask certain things in case that comes about. And so you think stuff, but Simon Jordan's got the bottle to say, no, let's do it. Let's sit down and have a chat. So I don't believe Eddie would have Simon Jordan on his pod. I don't believe that'll happen. Not against smokes and mirrors, I'll say it, but it's never going to happen. Simon Jordan has publicly said, come on the show. Simon Jordan said, let's sit down and chat, because he wants to challenge him on a lot of his practices. And I rate Simon. And listen, he can be a pain in the ass sometimes, but an opinionated pain in the ass, but he does his job, he asks the question. Eddie will run you lot, rings around you lot, because he's too sharp, too smart, knows this side of it, the business side of it, he knows every side of it, can get you banned from a presser. So a lot of guys think, I don't want to ask that because I don't want to piss him off. Simon Jordan don't give a toss. So to see Simon Jordan and Eddie, I'd love it, because I think Eddie's the best, but I think Simon Jordan's the best too. So then you've got the best against the best. All this bullshit about fighting each other. Sit down, chat. Sit down, challenge. And that to me, that is it is smokes and mirrors. It's muddying the waters. I think this situation with Conor Benn has probably brought things to the surface, but it ain't about that. I think there's a lot more about this.
Just want to move on a little bit more. Just want to spoke about Conor there. We've sort of seen that they've tried to get Conor back into the top 15 of the WBC. WBC have refused it. What do you make of the situation? How long it's taking for people to get some sort of know-how on what's going on, what the final verdict is?
I don't understand what the issue is. Conor Benn failed a drug test. So whatever governing body he's decided to fight under, they've got to give the punishment. He's given his British Boxing Board licence in, apparently, so they can't say, well, you're banned for 6 months because he ain't got a licence. So until he decides to box for whoever, then it's up to that governing body to deal with him correctly. So there's nothing to be said. He failed the drug test. That's it. So he's now got to decide. They've now got to decide how he deals with it. The longer he leaves it, how will the Boxing Board of Control deal with it? Will they say, well, time out is time served? Or will they say, right, then now you're a licence holder, we have a pending 6 month, 2 year, 4 year ban on you. Conor Benn is at a peak stage of his career. So time is of the essence. We want to see the best of him. We want to see him. So do your time. Take your shit, take your licks. You're going to come out under a cloud. Every time you box, people are going to mention that. They do it with Canelo now. They used to do it with Tyson Fury. You know, they'll keep doing it. You've got to get, if you're going to box again, stop the foolishness. You take your licks, all right? Done. Don't say nothing. Take your licks. If you ain't going to box again, well, be quiet. Leave people ignorant.
Cool. Johnny Nelson, it's always a pleasure talking to yourself. They've started to take down everything, so it's kind of a way to tell us to go home and have a cup of tea.
To drag you out.
Johnny Nelson, thank you very much.
Yeah, man.